Yet you had been beaten black and blue. You were clearly in shock.
Yes.
You were dazed. Do you remember doing that?
I remember part of it. I remember WPC taking me into the bedroom and I was putting all these things together. I do remember that, but not a lot more.
Now you've watched the footage, is it a way of standing outside of yourself and actually seeing what you were putting up with?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did your friends get involved at all?
I had no friends.
You had no. You weren't allowed to have friends.
No,
but you must have had friends at some point in your life.
I did.
Did they not sort of try and stay in your life and say to you, what's going on here?
I still had friends, but whenever I seen a friend, if I was allowed to, he had to come with me.
But then, in most cases, you hide it. You hide the fact that you're being hit and beaten up, don't you?
Well,
from
even
the people
now,
closest to you.
Yeah.
Is there a kind of shame almost in it that you're afraid to let people see how bruised you are?
Yes. If you do manage to get out, because I was allowed to go shopping only with him, because him being older, you know, he would do the shopping, I'd be at home for, say, 4 weeks at a time. If I ever got shopping and I had a bruise, you feel dirty in a queue, people move away from you. It's as though you've done something wrong. People don't want to be around somebody that's got a bruise.
He isolated you so much, even, not just from your friends, like Jane was saying, but to the point of where you lived.
Yes.
He even chose a house that was very isolated.
Yes, very.
What about physical injuries? I mean, that wasn't the first beating that you'd had. It was obviously very, very severe.
Yes.
Were there times when you perhaps needed a doctor that he didn't allow you to go?
No. If I ever managed to get to the doctors, he would come with me and I would try and talk to the doctor. And no, he would actually come into the doctor's surgery, you know, with me. And I was trying to tell a doctor I wasn't allowed a pen, just in case I managed to pass a note to someone, help me.
So you'd kind of make up a lie about how you'd hurt yourself?
Yeah.
You know, so
but aren't doctors trained to recognise that sort of thing?
Yeah, my doctor afterwards, she actually cried and she said, you was trying to tell me.
And to tell you what I find really frightening about it, I mean, apart from the obvious pain that you've gone through, there could be people watching here today, and I'm sure they're thinking to themselves, how or where do you get help?
Well, first of all, you've got to sort of realise you've got a problem. I hadn't got the problem, he had. And to try and get help, if you're not allowed to use a telephone, you're not allowed a mobile phone or anything like that. The only way is pass a note to someone if you're allowed to see someone. So it's so difficult trying to get help.
Didn't you work out for a little while? Didn't you go to work in a charity?
I
Could you not
in
have told somebody then?
No, I don't tell them in the shop, but they actually picked up on it. But I didn't realise that. But he used to just allow me to go and catch the bus for a start to the shop. And then he used to come with me. And he was saying to them, well, I'm helping as well. I didn't want that, and that's just in case I said anything.
And actually, talking of that shop, you discovered shockingly after the event that it seemed that this was premeditated, because before this attack, he'd gone to the charity shop where you worked, he'd spoken to the manageress and told them that you wouldn't be in for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So clearly he knew what he was going to do to you. He'd also spoken to another friends and told them you were going away.